very much for everyone who came. I do think it's the coldest day of the year, and it's the first time in my 12 years career of exhibition making that I'm launching an exhibition wearing thermal base layers. So I'll make it short. I'll skip quoting poems and stuff that I usually like doing, and I will try to be as condensed as possible. I'll just say that after myself, two of the students that participated in the project will speak briefly, and then we will go up a short walk to see three of the signposts, so whoever wants, it will also warm us up. So yeah, as Emma said, this project started in August when I was approached by the Dean of Students and Technion International to see what we can do to actually pay some attention to international students who are usually between 500 and 1,000 a year. And attention became the key word for this project as it went and developed through the 6 months that went between them. So one of the first things we thought that it shouldn't be just for the internationals, we should mix the locals and the internationals. So what we did, we actually started with 5 workshops. We didn't know what to do, but we wanted to listen and to get ideas. Of these 5 workshops that included something like 50 students who answered open calls, 16 were committed enough to stick through, and they were nominated by me as the committee of this art project. And we sat together. They are all here, and they will soon be forced to introduce themselves, or encouraged to introduce themselves. So together we thought what to be done, and then there were 2 emotional mapping workshops. Because what we realized that international students, they know this campus way better than the locals and maybe the workers, I don't know. So the idea of one central exhibition like what we did at the Ullman for several years wasn't suitable, and hence the workshop, the exhibition that you are seeing is scattered all around the campus, in nature, in the dormitories, in the center. And it's also not including what we would expect as visual art. We have stories, which is the oldest art form, so I was taught when I studied curatorship. The oldest art form is storytelling. And here we have stories by those 16 students who shared with us places on the campus where they had a personal experience that is memorable. The result was that on every site there was a signpost cemented, and a few of those signposts we will see later. And I want to thank all 16 of you, because there was no reward, there were no credits, there was no scholarships or chocolate even. It was really motivated for other non-material reasons, and I think it's important to remember that even in such a busy place where we all run around and we want to get our grades to be good, people still make time for some extra things without the material motivation. The result of the emotional mapping workshops were signposts that all start with the phrase, "This is a good place for." And this was inspired by American artist Candy Chang, who did that as an art project in Hong Kong in 2013, and look how things travel. So many years after, so many kilometers after, there is a reference to that project, and that's what I love about art. And like sciences, we can get inspiration. But she was actually contacted, and she was blessing this project, and she approved of it, so it was really nice also to hear. And she was not only one who approved of it, so I will go very quickly for the thank you list, because when working in huge institutions such as the Technion, and that's why this project took 6 months, you have to go through a lot of approvals. And it could be frustrating or draining, but actually for me as a curator who is really passionate about people and people getting together to do things, the fact that we were required to contact so many people to engage with this actually made all these people more knowing of the story, more feeling of the story, and whenever they come across this map or the signpost, they will know deeper what happened there. So I think it's a blessing, and the fact that many people had to approve it, I think actually validates it beyond the cement that we used to put the signpost. All right. So who did we contact? First and foremost, an amazing woman named Zizim, who I think is not here, but she is like managing this campus. And as a woman, it makes me proud. Who did not only give this project her permission, but she also allowed it to stay for 5 years with and a possibility for an extension later. Now we are just to hope that the color and the Israeli sun will work together with this plan. Another woman who is not here and was key to this project is Vera, who is the architect of this space, who is actually one of the few people who walked with me through these all 16 locations. And I think like Dana also is another one, but I don't think many people will actually go through all the locations. It's not the point of the project. So I really want to thank Vera and Sasi, who is also in charge of how the campus looks like, who went through everything and approved. All the people at the dorms who had to approve it, at the ecological garden, Oren, and at the Department of Architecture and Material Sciences. And to Dana, who worked with me through these 6 months as the assistant of this project, and I really appreciate it. Okay, another person who walked through all these 16 is an amazing man named Chaim Lederman, who is an owner of a big company who does signposts, like for real. And we are such a small client for him, but he was also like engaged emotionally with the project. So I want to thank him. Sergey and Roman, who were actually the people cementing. Igal Felix, who did the photographs. And if you go to the website, you can scan or type. You can see a beautiful gallery of photographs that he took of this signpost. And the fact that we have a website is thanks to a beautiful woman who is also not here, named Mor, at the Dean's office, who built the website. And the fact that we have QR codes is thanks to this guy, who is from the Central Library and who is also a beautiful example of somebody who really didn't have to engage, but still did and helped. And he sends me statistics. Sasi, I thanked you and you missed it. So thank you, Guy, for your help. So we had to get approval for the height of the signpost, the letter size. It all took forever, and it's all very much legitimate. 4 translators. We used 11 mother tongues and English, who is neither one of us mother tongue, but it's still like somehow the main language in this area. 2 amazing designers who are here, and I'm grateful to them, Agar and Ofri. Thank you very much. Yes. 3 different printing houses for the maps, for the signposts, for these big things, people who installed it. You know, since I'm working in such projects that involve so many people, I stay at the movies until the end to see all the lists. It actually has a lot of information to it, and people who walk out, they miss on understanding the depth of making things happen that involve people. 2 deans. We had 2 deans throughout this project. Ayala, thank you so much for encouraging us from the beginning. And Gedi, thank you very much for blessing us as you enter. I know you showed interest also as the Dean of Architecture. I have inside information. The most important are the 16 students. So thank you for sharing your stories, your insights, your individual self. And also putting words like daydreaming, perspective, music, freedom, crying, peace, contemplation, friends, charm on the map of this campus. I think this is the point that it all boils down to, that these words don't always have legitimacy in the spaces that we encounter, and let alone in a space that specializes in technology and doesn't even have social sciences department. So we are the social sciences project. There is humanities, true, but social sciences is something else. And in addition to the 16 students who will soon present themselves, I want to thank the 4 ladies who were my team, in addition to Dana, of course, and without whom this couldn't have happened. Effie, who is the one to credit or to blame for the fact that this is my 6th exhibition at the Technion. She was the first one to approach me, and since then she was a key person in each one of those exhibitions. Effie is in charge of this campus being a little bit more diverse friendly and gender equality friendly, so thank you for that, and thank you for allowing art to actually play a role here. Ilona,
She's here.
who is hiding there, who is in charge
Behind us.
who is in charge in the dean's office of everything that has to do with welfare and culture for the students, and she was also the person who allowed all these workshops to happen, all the pizzas to arrive, but in general was very much involved and gave a lot of time and heart to this project. Emma, the head of the Technion International, who was happy to meet during this process, and it was amazing, and thank you so much for going through things together. We also made a few good places to cry, but also to come together, and I think we went through something. And Jana, who is actually a co-curator of this project, without whom it wouldn't have happened, who was involved in so many little details, but at the same time gave me the artistic freedom that I needed to do what I'm doing. It was beautiful to know you even deeper, and thank you for this whole support. Give her a round of applause. And a few philosophical words to the end. We are not only marking this place with feelings. I think that we are actually giving attention to small stories in the age, in the place where the big mega narratives and stories just crush the individuality and the humanity of everyone involved. And for me personally, the fact that this project happened and the context that it happened at the time that it happened, it was very much empowering, and my heart was expanded thanks to it, and my spirit was uplifted, or my soul was uplifted, if to quote Shivani. So it's also actually makes us think about what is important and what is unimportant, what is worthy of being commemorated. And these non-monumental monuments actually allow us to know that also our small, banal stories and selves have room and are legitimate, which I think is a very radical thing to do. It's also the first major public art intervention on this campus that features dozens of public artworks that comes from students. So it's also a small history in the context of the art here. And yeah, I just want to conclude that for me this project represents the beauty of humanity. I love beauty and I love people, and I think for me this project is really a culmination of something that celebrates humanity, and to me personally gives a lot of hope. So thank you for walking this journey with me, and I'll see if I have something else.
We do hope not.
Yeah. In addition to everything I said, I think in this place in particular that is about technicalities and advancement, it's also reminding us that we are not only getting from point A to point B, whether it's to graduate or to get from art building or another, that we are experiencing things here, and I hope this signpost will remind us of that. So thank you all very much. I invite 2 students who participated in the project to say something. Minnie Alon, who wants to go first? You look surprised.